Yeah.
What is it called?
I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna shoot a little hole, and I want to see if I can like get concussed up there. Isn't this supposed to be soft?
It's so loud.
What is up, everybody? I am Get Flanked, and Ubisoft was nice enough to give me early access to Operation Steel Wave, and today I'm going to be going over the new Defender that's coming this season, Melusi. You're going to see actual gameplay of me using Melusi. We'll go over her gadget, how it works, how it interacts with other operators. We're going to go over her loadout, and finally I'll give you my impressions as far as how strong I think Melusi is and where she'll fit in with the meta. Now, I have a video very similar to this going over the new attacker coming this season, Ace. If you want to see that video, click on the top right-hand corner of the screen right there. After you're done with this video, you can go over there and get all the information regarding the attacker. Now, before we get into her loadout, let me just make a quick statement here as far as my overall thoughts with Melusi. I think that she's going to see a lot of play, and I think that she is very strong. First of all, she is a 3-speed, 1-armor defender, which is very popular for people. A lot of people like playing those types of operators. She has a good SMG. We're going to go over that in just a second. And she has 3 gadgets that are very easy to use, but very strong. If attackers run into one of her gadgets, they pretty much have to deal with it. Or if they don't, they're extremely vulnerable for a long period of time. When you add all 3 of those things up, I think she's very strong. I actually think it's very likely that you could see her nerfed before she's actually released on the live servers. I know you guys hate hearing stuff like that, but I think there's a real possibility there. And I think you'll understand why as we go along here. Okay, getting into Melusi's loadout, we're going to go through this really quick because you guys are pretty familiar with everything here. So first of all, she is a 3-speed 1-armor, okay? Her unique gadget is called the Banshee Sonic Defense. It's a deployable bulletproof gadget which emits sound to slow down opponents in range. Now, speaking of range, it seems like the range is right around 6 meters. It might be closer to 7, but depending on how the ping system works, it's impossible to get an exact number there. But yeah, it's definitely at least 6 meters is the area of effect for the gadget. As far as how much it slows down attackers, think about Clash. How she slows down attackers is the same thing. It doesn't stack with Clash or other gadgets as far as barbed wire. It doesn't do damage either. It just makes a loud noise and slows down attackers as they're walking within its area of effect. More on that gadget in just a second, but let's get into her actual loadout now. Melusi has 2 primary weapon options. First is the T5 SMG. This is the SMG that Legion has. Very good SMG. I mean, a lot of people, of course, pick Legion for his gadget. His gadget is really good, but Legion's SMG is up there as well. I would say it's in the, at least you would consider it in the top half of Defender weapons. So strong weapon option there for Melusi. Her other option is the Super 90 shotgun. This is the shotgun that Frost has available to her. As far as attachments there, everything's normal. No difference from what I saw between the options that Legion has on the SMG versus what Melusi has. As far as Melusi's secondary option, there's only one, but it's a very good one. It's the RG-15 pistol. This is the same pistol that both Ella and Zofia have available to them. The big deal here is that it has that Romeo 1 reflex sight, which allows you to be very precise with it. This is probably the best secondary option, in my opinion, that isn't a machine pistol. So strong option there on the RG-15. As far as her secondary options, she has both the deployable shield and impact grenades available to her. We all know how strong the deployable shields are right now. Ever since they put the ability to see through the deployable shields, they've been very strong. So that's a strong option. And then the impact grenades have always been a solid choice for defenders, especially with the introduction of Ace, the attacker who's the hard breacher. His one weakness is that he's very easy to impact trick. And so her having those impact grenades available to her will be a strong option. Overall, this is a very strong kit for Melusi. Great primary options there, good secondary options. Both of her secondary gadgets are really in the meta right now. Combine that with the fact that she is a 1-armor 3-speed, and you got the makings for a great operator. With that said, let's go ahead and hop into some gameplay now. The first clip that I'm going to show you is literally the first round that I ever play with Melusi, and you're going to see me use her gadget in really the simplest form possible. I'm going to set it up on a staircase. I'm going to stand where I'm kind of to the side of it. I'm going to wait for the gadget to make a sound and then try to make a play off of it, and you'll see how that plays out.
My little pony.
I'm reloading.
Yeah, I would have to go into the teams and talk to him about it. He's hosting, so. might just let us play
Eye
this
out
one
for
out.
Op 4 attempting to defuse your bombs.
There.
Don't reinforce
I
kids,
think
guys.
I need to shut this down and invite Priest.
Yeah, just let them know when you invite me, brother.
I run around this top floor like 3 times and I'm still confused.
You can melee the new gadget.
Okay, so I wanted to show that just to demonstrate how simple yet strong this gadget is. I mean, it's very simple. You place it, you are going to know if somebody's coming that way, and not only are you going to know that an attacker is coming that direction, but they're also going to be very vulnerable. It doesn't mess with your sensitivity like Elemines used to, but it does put you in a weakened state. I mean, you just can't move as fast. So definitely vulnerable while you're under the effects of her gadget. Let me show another clip now where you get kind of the same situation, but it's from much further away. Like, does it matter if it's laying on the floor versus the wall as far as the direction of where it slows down at all? Or is...
I don't think so. I think it's like an AoE, like if you go to place it, it'll show you the circle.
Yeah.
And if you're in that circle, you get slowed down no matter what. It's just...
Yeah.
5 seconds to insertion.
I think it might. I think it slows the closer you are to it, though.
Your bombs.
Activating jammer.
It's kind of nice there, that little line of sight, isn't it?
Yeah. Maru. Or maybe you just ace. I don't know.
This wall's open.
Op 4 found a bomb.
Wow, how was that doing this shot? On my north. Somebody's getting slowed down somewhere.
No, we can't hear you,
No,
Godly.
we can't.
The master bedroom breach.
On the bridge.
1 Op 4 remaining.
That's really strong, dude. Okay, so there you can see that I set up, really, I mean, across the map. Now, granted, it's reworked house, which is bigger than the old house, but still pretty small. But because I had my device there on the floor, I knew as soon as somebody entered that room and just peeked and got the kill. And Yeah, I mean, you heard me say it right there. That's really strong. And I think you could see how Melusi is going to be played a lot. It does kind of remind you of Legion to an effect. I mean, if you can imagine, playing Legion in that situation, having a goo mine there, you hear the goo mine go off, you peek it to try to get the kill. It's kind of a similar play style, I would say, but more flexibility. And obviously, the attackers know where the device is. They can see it, but still, if they don't have the proper equipment, they can't get rid of it. Now, speaking of getting rid of her gadget, let's talk about how it interacts, okay? First of all, it is bulletproof, so it can't be shot, okay? It can be meleeed, so any attacker theoretically can get rid of it eventually, but by the time you've meleeed it, you've walked through the area of effect for a long period of time, okay? The gadget, it can be disabled by Thatcher, similar to how like an Alibi Prisma would be disabled. It's that period of time. It's not destroyed. It's just disabled by a Thatcher EMP. The other thing is that it is subjective to all explosive damage. So if you think about any way you would normally get rid of an Evil Eye, you would be able to get rid of one of these as well. Now, as far as how the gadget works, it needs line of sight, and it basically is really simple. If you're within its area of effect and it has line of sight on you, it will slow you down. On the screen right now, I'm showing how somebody's going above where I'm at right now, and because there's holes in this floor, it's actually working and slowing them down, as you can see when it kind of activates there by the animation on the screen. So it doesn't have to be on the same level or anything. All it needs is line of sight within its area of effect. There are no operators that are immune to its effect. That includes Nook. And I believe that Finka will limit the amount it slows you down, though. If you're under Finka's adrenaline surge, then you will move through it faster. You'll still be affected. The sound will still go off, but you'll move through it faster. There is no friendly fire with the gadget, so even if it's being activated by an attacker, if a defender steps into its line of sight, then they will not be affected. That's pretty much all I can think about as far as interactions. Again, very simple but strong gadget for sure. As far as my impressions when it comes to Melusi, yeah, very strong. And I know if you watch my Ace video, I said he's very strong. I think that both of these operators coming with Operation Steel Wave are very strong. I think that Melusi has the potential to be very frustrating to play against because of the nature of her gadget and how it can be unavoidable for an attacker to deal with its effects. Again, every attacker can get rid of it by meleeing it, which is good, I guess. But the fact that you can't do that until you deal with it, it's a very strong gadget. And again, it's going to place a high priority on operators on the attacking side that have explosive damage and can deal with gadgets like this. So I think that the fact that she has 3 of them, along with the potential to bring a deployable shield, meaning that she can soak up 4 total explosives from attackers, is a very strong aspect of her. You could see kind of a similar situation where you had with Goya, where she's a utility soak, and that's going to be a strong aspect of her. So all in all, very strong operator here. Somebody that I think a lot of people will gravitate to her. Everything about her makes sense right off the get-go. There's not really anything about her that's like super complex. Her gadget's pretty simple. You get the area of effect indicator, so you know exactly how it's going to work. That doesn't mean that there's no depth with using her. I could see a lot of really clever strats being developed around her gadget, and I like that aspect of her. We'll just kind of have to see how it plays out here, but don't be surprised if she goes from 3 gadgets down to 2 before it goes live. Okay guys, that's going to do it for my Melusi video. Make sure you check out my Ace video in the top right hand corner of the screen right now. You can click up there, go check it out. Ace is the attacker. He's nuts as well, so make sure you check that out. Everybody, I appreciate you watching this. Appreciate all the love for the Steel Wave content. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you like and subscribe, and I'll have more coming your way here soon.